Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Inside the Headset. Here we are at Week 4, Game 5, and we're at the midway point, and I'm with head coach of the Blackman Blaze, Philip Shadowens. Last week, we played a powerful Signal Mountain. I got you the video, so let's just pick it up from there like normal.
Thought our kids played hard. And that was a challenge that we talked about throughout the week last week. I didn't feel like the previous week we had played hard enough and played physical enough. And the bottom line is the challenge last week was to play for 48 minutes as hard as you can, play as a unified bunch, as brothers, as a family, and I thought even though we didn't play well at times, I thought we played exceptionally hard, and we kept fighting along the way, and we're finally able to put the ball game away, there early in the fourth quarter. I was particularly pleased with just overall effort, and that should be something that's a given each week. You shouldn't have to worry about effort. But based on what I'd seen the previous week, I was, and last week I thought we played with tremendous effort.
Well, Coach, if there's no challenge, then what fun is it? I mean, if there's no scale going upward, and you do the same thing, or we play a team that's not up to the caliber of the athletes you have on the sidelines, then what is it?
Is that a way to ask me what happened the week before?
No.
Well, I don't know. I think kids, and everybody's human, and sometimes your emotions and maybe even your motivation changes from day to day. And the thing we're looking for at our football team is consistency. And I think that's the thing that probably everybody in our league would tell you is that each week you have to be good in our league, and when you're not good, you lose. And so what we're looking for is to be good every time we step on the field, to play with great intensity, to play with great focus, to play relentless and play with togetherness, and to play with all those things that I would like to think is what previous teams here at Blackman High School have done the last 2 years. And we challenged our kids last week because we didn't think we had seen that like we should. And even though we didn't play perfect, we made plenty of mistakes and misalignments and did all kinds of things, our kids tried to play as hard as they could possibly play. And because of that, then good things began to happen to us defensively. We had a couple big picks in the fourth for touchdowns, and that was we were able to put the ball game away because of that. Signal Mountain was as good offensively as any team that will play. They had an unbelievable quarterback, 2 big-time receivers, and a bunch of backs that were all just physical kids. And so I know they're 4A, but at the same time they got a great chance to win that state championship in that level. And I thought they were a great test for our kids, and I thought our kids passed that test.
We had a kid go down Friday night. Nobody ever likes to see that, but I understand he's okay. Would you expand upon that?
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about that.
And I knew he was fine Friday on the field, but Signal Mountain had 2 doctors on their sideline.
Wow.
And we had 1 doctor on our sideline, and so the doctor on their sideline said he was knocked out. And watching the video, I didn't see that. I'm watching his body. I didn't see him ever get knocked out. He might have got dazed.
Right.
But because of that and the sensation of tingling that sometimes you get when you have that kind of mild concussion is what it ended up being diagnosed with. They took a lot of precautions to make sure it wasn't anything to do with his neck or his back or any of those things. And I knew before, a minute after getting out there that he was going to be fine. But yet, I'm not going to override any doctors because they know a whole lot more about it than I do. And so they took precautions. I went to the hospital as soon as the game was over on Friday night. He was released Friday night. He was fine. And he does have a mild concussion, and because of our rules and things we have set in place to make sure we're taking care of the players health-wise, we won't allow him to play this week. But he'll be back next week, fine. And he could play this week probably. But in this day and age where concussions have become the thing that everybody talks about, everybody takes a lot of precautions when it comes to that. So we're going to hold him out this week, and he'll be back ready to go probably Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, and are we okay otherwise on the team as far as injury front?
Had a knee hurt Friday night. Billy Woodward, one of our offensive guards, strained the MCL, but looks like he's going to be okay. You always worry about those kind of injuries being out for 3 to 5 weeks, but don't look like he'll be out really anytime. He may not be able to play a whole lot tomorrow night, but will be released to play. I mean, he can play if we need him. Hadn't been able to practice much this week, so we've kind of, if you don't practice, it's kind of hard to play now.
Yeah.
We're not in the NFL, so but we have some other guys we feel like are ready to go and step up in that position. So health-wise, we're pretty good this time of year. I mean, you hate to have the injury like we did last week, when it's scary. But health-wise, we've been pretty fortunate.
Really thought special teams looked pretty good. You know, this is a new kicker, but now he's not new anymore, and he's been through 4 games, and now he'll go through the 5th one tomorrow night. But I really thought starting to get that cranked up a little bit better.
Yeah, I thought he kicked the ball well. And he's had he had a bad ankle injury that's kind of kept him back, and it's kind of limited what he can do. He can't hardly run because he had a high ankle sprain, some torn ligaments in his ankle, and it was his kicking foot. So we were letting him kick. We're letting him punt the ball, and we're letting him do extra points. And last week, at times, we let him do a little bit. We let him do a little bit of kickoffs. But our kickoff coverage was poor last week, and so other than that, special teams was really good. But our kickoff coverage was about as bad as it gets, and it's unacceptable. We're not going to tolerate that, and so we've worked extremely hard on our kickoff team. We've made some adjustments and some change-ups, and hopefully it'll be better this week. But Jacob himself, he was perfect on extra points. We put a young kid in Blaine Burks, and he hit an extra point also. And then we had a bad snap, I think, on the last one to me. We had 73 instead of 72, But we had some other kids doing that. But Jacob was perfect on his extra point attempts. He hit a big field goal for us. So the second drive to put us up 10-0. And so I'm pleased with that part of our special teams, but our coverage certainly has to get a whole lot better.
I thought you got some other kids into the action, their first chance to kind of play on a Friday night, and to feel that after you got somewhat just a little bit of a comfort, but still you want to get those kids worked in. Was you overall pleased with some of the kids that hadn't had a chance to get out there on the field and feel that excitement?
Yeah, it was good to see some kids get some sacks. We had Brandon Garrison, a senior who hadn't played before, who if he would have played before would probably have an opportunity to contribute more, but he's been out of football for 4 years, and it's hard to come back. But he made a sack, and we had a bunch of other kids that stepped up and helped us, and just getting that on video, and on down the line, if you lose some people, it's nice to know that you got some kids that can come in and make some plays. But you like to play as many as you can, but we have 120, and it's impossible. I know every mom and dad would like to see the kid play on a Friday night, but it's impossible to play 120 kids in one Friday night, regardless of score. So, but I think we got about 75 kids onto the field, at least for a play or two. And anytime you can get that kind of numbers out there, then that's good. But it's a lot of work trying to get that many on the field. But we were able to get a lot of kids in, which was good. We were happy with that.
Well, your game doesn't get any rougher or any easier. Either way, it's going to go up. Let's move into this one.
Okay.
Tommy McDaniel, Oakland. It's all yours. Take it from there.
Right. Well, Tommy don't play, so I don't care too much about that. But we play Oakland High School. They're known, or what they want to be known as a physical football team. We want to be known as a physical football team, and we haven't really lived up to that at times defensively the last couple of weeks, and certainly that's been a challenge for our kids, and that's our expectations from our kids, is to be more physical. When you play Oakland, it does come down to the physicality of the game, but it also comes down to execution. Both teams want to run the football.
Yep.
We've thrown it probably more than they have because their quarterbacks are young and all that kind of stuff. And so both teams are going to try to run it, but I'll tell you, the team that throws it the best may be the team that wins. We certainly expect that to be us. We have a lot of confidence in our receivers, a lot of confidence in our quarterback, and our protection schemes, and so we're going to run it, and we're going to be physical with that part of our game, but we're also going to throw the thing around. From a defensive standpoint, we got to stop the run. They're going to throw the ball, and we got to be smart enough not to get out of position and all those kind of things. But bottom line is we got to be physical enough to stop the run. That's what they're going to try to do. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be, a fist fight, all those kind of things you can say about football. But bottom line is we're going to have 11 players playing. They're going to have 11 playing. And the team that's most physical is the team that wins.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Anytime you play a team in our region, in our county that's a rival, those are always fun. And then you play a team that's been established here the last 3 or 4 years, is a really good football team. And it's always fun to play those kind of games. And so we're excited. Our kids are excited. It's going to be football weather, and it's not going to be cold, but it's going to be a little bit cooler like football season should be. It's going to be a gigantic crowd. I'm sure Oakland will bring a bunch. I know our crowd has been unbelievable every single game.
You can't say nothing about that. Just consistent. I mean, they've hit the game.
The best I've ever seen in the 22 years I've been coaching football. And so I know our kids and crowd will be here and excited about playing, and I'm sure they'll bring a crowd. And our kids are anxious for tomorrow night. We've had a great week of practice, a great week of preparation. I think our kids have made a step maturity-wise and just how to prepare, and I've been really pleased with that. So I look for tomorrow night to be a whole lot of fun. It's what high school football is supposed to be, and you'll see 2 good football teams battling it out.
Well, you have anything else you'd like to add?
Now, come to the game. It ought to be a good one.
I think he said it enough. Let's gather up here. Tomorrow night, Oakland Patriots come across town right here to the Inferno. 7:30 is the kickoff. Folks, let's get on our feet and get after it. We'll see you then.